In this video, I'm going to simplify good manufacturing practices and good hygiene practices. Welcome back to the channel. This is Areeb Irshad and you are watching Food Tech Simplified, where I make simple and easy to understand lectures, videos and tutorials for the students of food science and technology. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon as well so that you don't miss the upcoming videos. Food safety is an important issue both for the consumers and the food business operators. If the food is unsafe, it can lead to foodborne illnesses, foodborne injury, and in the worst case scenario, it can even cause death. Outbreaks of foodborne illness can damage trade, hamper the brand image, and affect consumers' confidence. Therefore, in order to avoid adverse human health and economic consequences, it is absolutely important to follow good manufacturing practices and good hygiene practices. From this point onwards in this video, I am going to use the abbreviation GMP for good manufacturing practices and GHP for good hygiene practices. So GMPs and GHPs are the general principles that lay a firm foundation for ensuring safe food. It is the responsibility of FBO to make sure that GMPs and GHPs are followed correctly. Let me give you an interesting analogy, so that the essence of GMP and GHP is absolutely clear to you. Let's say that you are going on a date. Now I know that it can be really challenging for single nerds like me to even imagine that we are going on a date, but let's just assume for the sake of this video that you, my friend, are going on a date. Now before you go on a date, you'll make sure that you follow some certain practices. You'll make sure that you are wearing best clothes possible. You'll make sure that your shoes are clean. You'll make sure that you are wearing a decent perfume. You'll make sure that you have enough cash in your wallet, and if you're going through a bike or a car, you'll make sure that you have enough fuel. So although you may not have an actual checklist, but the checklist is present in your mind that you have to follow correctly to impress the potential partner, right? So in the same way, FBO has the responsibility to make sure that some certain practices of manufacturing and the certain practices of hygiene are followed correctly in the food processing plant so that the food commodity or the food product can impress the potential consumer. Now in the case of FBO, he or she has a checklist where all the GMPs and GHPs are mentioned, and using that checklist, a food auditor or an assigned person in the food processing plant makes sure that every practice is followed correctly. Here's an important point for you. GMPs and GHPs are the prerequisite programs that must be in place before HACCP is implemented. Now, prerequisite means a condition that must be satisfied before something else can happen. And HACCP, to give you a brief idea, well, I have a separate video for HACCP that I will link in the description. But to give you a general idea, to give you a brief idea, HACCP is a preventative tool or a system that is used to identify, evaluate, and control the hazards to make sure that the food safety is up to the mark. So HACCP is basically a tool or a system to ensure food safety. But before implementing HACCP in a food processing plant, it is absolutely crucial. It is important to make sure that GMPs and GHPs are put in place. That is why we call them prerequisite programs. So if you see a question in your exam which asks, mention the prerequisite programs that must be followed in a food processing plant. So it should immediately click in your mind that the examiner is asking about good manufacturing practices and good hygiene practices. So GMPs and GHPs are the prerequisite programs. What if we don't follow GMPs and GHPs? What if we completely ignore GMPs and GHP? Well, if we ignore GMPs and GHPs, if we do not follow these practices, then it will be very challenging, it will be very difficult to implement HACCP in the food processing plant. That is why we call GMPs and GHPs as the general principles that lay a firm foundation to ensure food safety. Codex Alimentarius Commission has given these codes of practices or PRPs to protect the health of the consumers and to ensure fair trade practices. In this video, I will talk about PRPs or prerequisite programs that have been given by Codex, and these practices have also been adopted by FSSAI. So, if the question asks about the PRPs given by Codex or PRPs given by FSSAI, answer will be more or less the same. Now, although GMPs and GHPs are somewhat different, but the compliance checklist prepared for these practices are not separate. Rather, these practices are combined to have a single checklist. So, you might think that, oh, GMP is different from GHP, so there must be two different checklists or two sets of practices. But that is not true. There is one single compliance checklist that covers both GMPs and GHPs. The reason behind a combined checklist is that hygiene practices are interconnected with manufacturing practices. There are basic 8 requirements under PRPs or GMPs and GHPs. The first is primary production. Second, establishment, design and facilities. Third, control of operation. Fourth, establishment, maintenance and sanitation. Fifth, personal hygiene. Sixth, transportation. 7. Product information and consumer awareness. And 8th, training. Every FBO needs to meet these 8 requirements. Let's look at each one of these requirements. The first one is primary production. Now the journey of food either starts from a farm or sea or butcher house. It is the duty of farmers or food handlers to maintain the environmental hygiene, to maintain the handling, storage, and transport of the food. The primary production practices can also include good agriculture practices, GAP in short, which essentially means that all the practices at the level of agriculture, at the level of farm, must be followed correctly. These practices can include controlling the production so that the contamination of crop, proliferation of pests, and diseases of animals and plants do not compromise food safety. The second requirement is establishment, design and facilities. Under this requirement, the structure and location of a processing plant needs to be considered in relation to the nature of operations that are carried out in the processing plant. The food premises should be designed to minimize possibilities of contamination. The design and layout should permit maintenance, cleaning and disinfection. All surfaces that come in contact with food should be non-toxic. Suitable facilities should exist for temperature and humidity control when required. Effective measures should exist to prevent access by pests or rodents like rats. The third basic requirement under the PRPs is control of operation. The control of operation basically relates or correlates to reduce the risk of contamination of the food product. It includes adequate time, temperature or humidity controls to reduce the risk of microbiological hazard. It also involves maintenance of equipment so that the cross-contamination is prevented. The next one is maintenance and sanitation. Procedures and work instructions should exist to demonstrate an adequate level of maintenance of an establishment or a food processing plant. And in a food processing plant, the efficient practices of cleaning, waste management and pest control must be followed correctly. The next requirement is personal hygiene. Hygiene means personal cleanliness, and the objective of personal hygiene can be attained by maintaining an appropriate level of personal cleanliness and following the guidelines for personal hygiene. Now, this can include cutting your nails, wearing a safety headnet or headgear, making sure that your clothes are clean so that any kind of microorganisms from your clothes do not enter into the food, making sure that you are not wearing any kind of jewelry so that any kind of contamination cannot occur from the jewelry to the food. The next one on the list is transportation. The method of transportation should be such that measures are taken to prevent any contamination or deterioration of the food product. The food products that need to be transported in certain environments should be appropriately controlled. For example, there could be some products that need a specific temperature. Let's say that you have to transport milk from point A to point B. So you have to make sure that the temperature of the transportation, the temperature of the truck which is carrying the milk is below 4 degrees or below 5 degrees Celsius. In some cases of fruits or vegetables, you may also have to maintain certain or specific humidity levels. So you have to take care of these practices while transporting food from one place to another. The seventh requirement on the list is product information and consumer awareness. Now, the end product should be accompanied by adequate information to ensure that the people, the personnel at the next stage in the food chain will handle, store, process, prepare, and display the product safely. All batches of food should be easily identified by a batch or a lot number to allow the traceability of the commodity if required. Important details such as manufacturing date, use by date or expiry date must be mentioned on the label. The eighth and last requirement on the list is training. Now, maintaining food safety is a continual process. All the food handlers or all the employees should be trained in personal hygiene as well as in the specific operation with which they are working. The food handlers should also be supervised by trained supervisors. It is the duty of a food business operator to make sure that all the employees who are handling food have been trained to make sure that the safety of food is up to the mark. So this was it for today. Let me know down in the comments if you have any kind of doubts or queries. I'll make sure that I reply to most of you, and make sure that you have subscribed and hit the bell icon as well so that you don't miss the upcoming videos. I'll see you next time. Class dismissed.